Hey guys, how's it going? James here from Audio.etc. Doing another mod on the bike. So I'm filming in my garage today, which even though it is tiny and has really poor lighting, I'll show you why. So I filmed the last mod out in my backyard, which was alright and really well lit and everything, but it's just really gross outside today. It's like kind of cold and dark and windy. More than anything, it's just the wind and everything like that. It just really annoys me. Even though I've got the dead cat on the microphone up here so the microphone doesn't pick it up, I just hate working in the wind. I don't know why. Stuff goes everywhere. Just distracts me. So yeah, we're working in the garage today. Just a refresher in case any of you guys are new or don't know. This is my 2014 Kawasaki Ninja 300. I've had it for a few months now and I'm really loving it. In my last video, I installed this Hot Bodies MGP Growler exhaust and I fucking love it. It's so much better than the factory one. Give you a quick demo here. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you go check it out. I'll chuck a link up and there we go. Sounds really good. So yeah, if you haven't seen that video, do go check it out. And also if you see that it's like 40 minutes long, don't worry, it literally only takes me about 20 minutes to do the install. The reason that video is 40 minutes long is because I talked for quite a while after that video about all the future things I want to do to this bike. There's like another topic I covered and my colours are sticking out and I don't know why. Right, so what am I doing to it today? That exhaust was the first major mod I wanted to do to this bike. The second major mod that I want to do to this bike, and I'm hoping it's all going to go well. What is wrong with this picture? It has to do with this section. I hate it. How much better does that look? But no, it's got this big ugly thing sticking out the back with indicators and lights and reflectors and number plates and crap. So what I want to do today is eliminate all of this. It's what a lot of people call a tail tidy or a fender eliminator. Basically, everything that I need legally to stay on there will be retained, but I'm gonna essentially get rid of this whole big thing sticking out the back. Number plate. What am I gonna do with the number plate? A lot of people mount them on little Fender Eliminator tail tidy things up sort of here. I would like to try and stick it down in the deep dark in here. You'll see I've got my L plate there. Yes, I have a learner's license for this bike. I've had it for quite a few years now. Yeah, I've only got a learner's plate here because literally the only difference between a learner's plate and a restricted license is that plate. Like nothing else changes. You don't get like later hours, you don't get higher CC ratings or anything. If I would have to go and pay to sit a license for the test and everything like that, just so I could take that off legally. So it doesn't bother me. It's there, it's down in the deep dark there just for the legal reasons. I haven't had anyone pull me over about it. Oh, by the way, that was something I was talking about in my last video about the Hot Bodies exhaust. I don't know what the decibel ratings here in Christchurch or New Zealand are for motorbike exhausts, but I've passed quite a few cops and no one's pulled me over, so that's good news. I think I'm all good. So, this crap. Yep, number plate I want to tuck up in here somewhere. The indicators are going to be in the tail light, and I'll show you that in a second. And the only other thing I really have to retain is a light over the number plate. So over here on my motorbike goodies box, I've got a few things. I've got here a couple of different, this is an LED number plate light. And here are a couple of sets of LED number plate attachment hardware with lights in them. So I've got a couple of different options there. I just bought these off eBay, you know, super cheap Chinese stuff. And they're gonna be a couple of options for lighting up the number plate so that I can still get a waff and everything like that. This here is just another cheap Chinese eBay number plate bracket. I may end up using that, I may not. And then the main install is this. And you will notice there it even says does not comply with DOT regulations. I don't know what DOT regulations are, I'm assuming it's an American thing, but I don't have that here. So this is a TST Industries integrated tail light. Boom, in smoked black as well. So this has got the tail light, the brake light, the left indicator and the right indicator all built into it. And it's really high quality as well. I know I put a lot of Chinese eBay crap on my bike and on my car and stuff like that. I buy a lot of real cheap stuff. This is quality. I did my research for this. This is going to be really good. With regards to brightness of the LEDs and the indicators and everything like that, this is super bright. Very easy to see, and even the fact that it's smoked, I'm pretty sure this is still brighter than that one. So this is just the park light. In fact, I'll turn off this light here for a second. I've just got all my lights on trying to light this up a bit better. So that's the park light, and if I hit the brake shoe, I can just hit this foot brake here. There's the brake. And I'm I have played with this already, and I'm confident that it is very, very bright and looks great. So that's going to be a very easy install. I've actually already had these panels off last time and I saw how easy it was going to work. That's great. The hard part is just going to be, you know, mounting the number plate and the lights to light it up, and then this will be easy. And then the other thing I do have to install is this little relay. This is an indicator timing relay. Around about in here in the bike, there's the relay which ticks telling the indicators when to turn on and off. When you install LEDs, that relay, which is designed to see a load from a light bulb, it gets all confused, or it thinks there's a bulb out, so it puts it into hyperflash mode. And the point of that, like where if you turn the indicator on, it goes tick, 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 tick. The point of that is to let you know one of your indicator bulbs is out. And LEDs kind of fall into thinking that's the case. So what you do is you install one of those relays, and you can adjust the time manually, and it solves the problem. So enough talking about it, because as always, I always do, I talk way too much about the job before I actually do it. So let's stop popping some panels off and taking this big ugly thing off the back of my bike. Okay, hopefully this microphone isn't picking up all of the frickin' wind noise on the tin roof and all of that crap. But yeah, start taking this apart. There's a little bolt here. Can you guys see everything? It looks like you can. Yep, let's take this off. This panel comes out, same on the other side. Get the seat out and then start getting these fairings and everything off. Oh, and also take this off. There we go. That's the easiest part. Most of this bike can be taken apart just with a decent Allen key set. I don't own a decent Allen key set, so I'm going to use a cheap and crappy one. I just noticed I've got one of these magnetic trays for holding screws in, like see, like it's magnetic. But you put the screws for the motorbike in, they don't stay because they're stainless steel. So that's pointless. We will just use a plastic tray for holding our screws then. The little washer thing that goes with it. And then getting this off is pretty easy. Gently with some force. There we go. 3 clips. I'll do the other side. There we go, they come off nice and easy. Next step is the seat. Seat bolts. Now, see if I can remember how this comes out. Pretty sure the front just lifts up and then comes forward. Or is it back? Backwards. So up and then back. There we go. And now the rear fenders or fairings do need an 8mm socket for this one. 8mm socket here. Cool. Now there's a couple of Allen keys on top of here. 3mm. 1, 2. They have little plastic washers. And also there's these little bung things on top of here. I've got the 2 bolts that were there. These little bung things, they're very similar to what you have in cars. To get them out, they're very easy. What you have to do is, I like to put my finger under here just so you don't push it all the way through and lose it, but you just lightly tap on there like that. See, it's gone through a wee bit, and then you can just like sort of get a fingernail under it, or push up from underneath if you can, and they pop out very easy. And then when you've done that, pop them back out with your fingers so that they're like that, because that's how you put them in. 1, 2. There's another 2 of those things in the front here as well. And then what you do is this whole side fairing kind of comes out this way. So you just sort of, again, like there's nothing underneath, I need to get it. No, just pop it out in that direction, like that. Set on the other side. Like that. And if you take it off, and sometimes these rubber bungs come with it, try and put those back on the bike if you can. There we go, that's that one. Okay, we're getting there, and then this thing just pops off as well. That piece there. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Let's just get the stuff out of my boot. Toolkit and lock. And then you need a 10mm to remove these 2 nuts here. And then this piece of metal just, it lifts up but it doesn't come straight up, so you have to kind of like come, you can get one side out and then up like that. And that's just a cover panel which protects the connections for the brake and indicator lights and stuff like that. And then yeah, in here, those connections there, that's like my my brake and my park light. Sorry, that's the brake and park light there, and we got the indicator lights here. And I think that one there might be the what do you call it? The number plate light, which is also park. And this relay here, this is the relay I was talking about, which is the indicator relay. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do that now while I remember. There's the new relay, and then this it's just being held on with a rubber bung at the moment, so just kind of like, may need to Just kind of lift this up, that, or get it down that way, and then this rubber piece you want to get out from under there, like that. And we'll put that on the new thing here. There is a thick side. Okay, there's that on there. And the adjustment is on the bottom here, so I'm not going to attach yet, but I am just going to unplug that one and plug that in. Cool. Factory relay back in the box just so I don't lose it. That can stay there for a wee bit. Now the next step is probably going to be removing this whole piece here. There are 4 big Allen key pieces up on top of here. They look like this one here, and yep, they're not too tight, so that's good. And actually, before I take this off, I need to disconnect it from inside here. So let's disconnect these 4 plugs. 1 indicator, 2 indicators. That one there's the tail light, and there's that light. Okay, cool. Just carefully pull them through. Each time like that. Okay, let's get back to loosening off these Allen keys. Support it with this hand. Unscrew this one. Here's the 4th screw. Something's still kind of holding it, but I'm not sure. Oh no, there we go. Oh, keep that open. And there we go. She's off. Instantly looks so much better without all that stuff sticking out the back. I think I'll also take the tail light out now, which looks like it's held on. I think I just need to get these 2 Phillipses here, and I think I should be right. Maybe those 2. There's a few Phillipses in there. Kind of hard to get to. I don't really get how that's supposed to work. Might just be those ones there. So you need a stubby Phillips, because it's quite a short, narrow space. And then I'm trying the 2 facing backward first. I'm pretty sure these are the ones I need to get. That wind is getting pretty crazy out there by the sounds of it. Cool, there's 2. These are just scrub screws. These are stereo screws, that's funny. Okay, now does this come out? Doesn't look like it, not just yet. I think we still need to somehow get these ones off. Quite confusing. If I just bend that back like that, will this come down? Oh, look at that, it will. Now, there we go, she's coming out. Okay, so it seems like the short one's facing this way, I didn't have to take out. Unless I need this piece. I might actually... There is this piece on the back here. I think that may actually have to come off for the new one, but I'm not sure. Okay, so looking at the old one and the new one, looks to me like, yeah, I do have to take this piece off of here and mount it on there. So let's do that real quick. Okay. Put this through here. Let's get this in. Okay, first step, screw this to here. With these long ones, and they actually be better off doing that from up here. There we go. Okay, that goes up there. Start by just running these wires down to the connections. Okay, and now, so here's one of the great things about the TST version of this, about the TST integrated tail light. All of the plugs just plug straight in. They use the proper OEM plug connections. You can't get anything wrong. You don't have to do any special wiring. It all just works. You can't get the indicators around the wrong way because the notch is on a specific direction. So this one will only fit into there. This one will only fit into there. And then this goes through here, and then that one there is the light, the tail light and the brake light. There we go. So now the only thing we've got left here is this one here, which is the light for the above the number plate, sorry. And even though I don't have anything specifically built for that, I'll be able to use the connection off of that. I'll cut it and solder it because I can do that and I have mad skills. I'll connect that to whatever lights I decide to use and it will just plug straight in, real OEM fashion. Tuck that down there. So now we should be able to test it. So if I turn the key on, there we go, we have our tail light. And if I just set the tripod actually just here. So that's just the tail light, that's already quite bright. Now if I hit the brake, it's much brighter. There we go. And now, so the indicators. Left indicator. There we go, right one. Now if I pull the brake. So it's actually really, really good, even though it's a black smoked one and it's LED, it's very bright. So the other cool thing about these TST ones, they make two models. They make a model like this, where it just has the on-off brake and the flashing indicators like this, and they make a programmable version, which is actually the one I bought here. And you can buy those in smoked or clear. So this is the smoked programmable one. I'll show you what you can do with the programmable one. So there's a little button. Let's turn off the indicator. There's a little button on the back of here. If I click it once, and now if I pull the brake, that's the brake. So that's a strobing brake. And now if I do the indicators, that's still the same, okay? Push the button again. The brake is back to normal, but the indicators do this. Okay. Pull the brake while that's going. Right indicator. Okay. Push it again. And now we've got full programmed mode where we've got the flashing strobe and the directional indicator. And now I can pull the brake and the indicator off. Push it once more. And we're back to normal. So there's 4 different modes you can have it in. There's just standard, which is on-off brake and left-right indicators. There's strobe brake standard indicators, directional indicators standard brake, and directional indicators with strobe brake. Personally, I really like the directional indicators. It's a bit more attention drawing. It's a bit more obvious rather than it just being a flashing indicator. If they're looking at it from a certain angle, it may look a bit confusing. So that directional indicator I think will be good. As far as the strobe brake goes, I don't know if I like it very much. I think I might run without it. I think I might just run the standard brake. I think I might just run the standard brake with the directional indicators. I think that's how I'm going to run it. Otherwise, it's looking really, really good. I'm happy. So that's cool. That's the integrated taillight section done. Now what I need to do? Now what I need to do is get the number plate off of here. Maybe the number plate light as well. I at least need the connection for the number plate light, which is this, and that'll be really easy to use. So yeah, let me just dismantle this real quick and we'll see what we can retrieve from it. Okay, so from dismantling this, and I already actually knew this because I played with it a month or 2 ago. Behind the number plate, there was this thing. And this is just a basic bracket and it holds 2 reflectors. Now a lot of people would probably take this off their bike. Personally, I really like to be seen by cars because there is a real issue where car drivers do not actually see motorbikers because they're blind, and motorbikes are apparently, I mean, this thing's pretty big, but apparently it's still too small to be seen. There's that, and then I think this might be a regional thing. I think maybe just, I don't know if all ninjas have this, but there was this bracket here, and all it does is offset the angle that tiny amount. And I was thinking a while ago, I may be able to do number plate relocation just with this without the need for that additional piece that I've bought. So maybe I'll use this. But this thing, I think I would like to keep. And I'll show you where. There's quite a nice wee place where it can mount, if I flip it around the right way. Just under there, get it in the right position. It looks quite good right there. I think the circle kind of fits into that little gap here quite nicely. It sits just below this ledge. So I'm probably going to put that there. And then maybe the number plate directly onto it somehow. That's where I'd like to put that. And it's like, it's got reflectors on it. Some people hate them. I think they're a good thing to have for safety, but it brings them right forward into the bike. So they'll still do their job. When a light shines on them, they'll light up like a Christmas tree, but they're not sticking way at the back here, looking like a stupid coccyx. And then this thing is the piece that was mounting the number plate. Now I need to have a play around with angles and see what the best way to mount my number plate is, and I'll come back to you guys with a solution.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along?
Okay guys, it's quite a bit later than when you saw me last. It's probably been a few hours. No, I've not spent the last 3 or 4 hours just trying to figure this thing out. I actually, after I finished filming that last segment, I actually went off and had a game of golf with my friends, came back, continued on this, got the number plate mounted, everything is done, but I haven't put the bike back together just because I wanted to show you guys a couple of details. So this is what we're working with. Obviously we got L plate is still down inside there at the back where it is technically on display, but realistically no one needs to know I'm on my L plate on my learner's license because like I've been riding for ages. I'm a competent rider. The reflectors are mounted in there. So the reflectors, you can see a bracket mounted in there. See if I can get it to focus in the right spot. There we go, they're bolted through. They're bracketed and then they are bolted rather than screwed. This thing here, which is actually the computer for the bike with all the plugs going in it, that's actually just kind of floating there in its little rubber housing, and the whole thing just lifts up and out once you've got this all out of the way. And so the nuts for that are under there, not being in any way. And then this little bracket here, which I did use, it's just got some 4mm bolts, and the nuts of those, actually not going to be able to see them, but they're way down the end. There they are. There's the nuts for that bracket. That just goes back in there, and then that closes down. And then what I did for the light, I actually ended up using this one rather than those other bolt style ones, because I like the light that was coming out of this. It's much more neutral, sort of whitey white. The light coming out of those things over there was much more of a really icy cold white, and they were really, really bright as well, but and spotlighty. This is much nicer, and they just, yeah, they weren't as good. They certainly did the job, they lit it up well, but it was a bit too much. I really don't need a whole heap of light coming out of that thing since I don't ride much at night. And I mean, you can see that there is light coming off it there with it on, and this is with all the lights on and everything. If I turn the lights off in here, that one, you can see that there's plenty of light there lighting it up. So that's good, that's that sorted. I just bolted that. The bolts for it are coming through the two rear holes right there. You can see that little nut bolt there. So there were 4 bolt holes in here, 1, 2, 3, 4, which this mounted on with. You can see those there. So I used the 2 rear ones for mounting this through, and then the 2 front ones I just plugged with the existing, with the bolts that were there, and I put some nuts on the other side just to make it look a bit nicer, you know, rather than leaving them empty. I probably will at some point build myself a piece of plastic which fills in this hole, seals it all up, and I can put the bolts back through and it'll look much nicer. But that's for another day, because obviously it is getting late, but I will do that sometime. So yeah, it's going good. Close that down. I'm just at the stage now where I'm about ready to start putting things back together. Yeah, I tried all sorts of setups for the number plate lights. I tried seeing what it looked like with 2 of those other ones like mounted here, and I tried seeing what it was like with 2 of them here, and this one on its own just did a much better job all on its own. I liked it. So that's what I'm going for. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly put this back together and wheel it outside. It's probably getting dark about now, so we'll see. You guys will see what it looks like at night as well, which will be cool. Oh, and for the connection, actually, if I take this back out, you'll see all the connections look still factory, which is great, and I love it, because the TST Industries thing, which is these wires and these 2 here, they just plug straight in, which is great. I love it. And then this one here, which is for the number plate light, that connection there is the factory one. I cut it off of there and I soldered it to the wires coming out of that light. And so now everything is factory, plug and play, easy to diagnose, easy peasy. Great. So now I can just start putting this back together. So you guys saw me take it apart with the snap of my fingers. We're going to use the magic of video editing software and put it all back together. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Done. Back together. Tail tidied. Officially, that looks so much better. I don't care that the number plate is quite big, but that looks so much better than having this big ugly thing sticking out the back of it. That's cool. I'm happy. Done. Okay, let's take it outside. That with the motor off, because otherwise you're not going to be able to hear me at all. There we go. Yep, that's just the perfect amount of light to see the number plate. That's all you need. It's probably showing up quite bright on camera compared to real life, but because cameras adjust for low light, but I can tell you that it's just the right amount of light to be able to see it. So if I pull the brake, right indicator, left indicator. So yeah, definitely bright enough, you're not going to be able to see me, definitely bright enough that you can see it, you know, even though it's got a smoked lens. Okay, well there we go guys. Got it all done, even though I had to space it out over a long period of time because I had a game of golf in the middle. But yeah, got it done. Removed that ugly thing from the back of it. Got the integrated tail light going. All hooked up, looking awesome. I'm stoked. Thank you guys for watching today's video. If you like what I've done to it, let me know in the comments or give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to, stick around for more Ninja mods. I'm sure there'll be more in the future. As I always say at the end of my videos, thank you guys for watching. Choose to be happy and I will catch you in the next video. Kite Ano.